In the headlines, terrorists threaten abduction of Commander-in-Chief, release fresh video of abducted train passengers. Canoe mishap claims one life, several people still missing in Niger. Nigeria Center for Disease Control raises alarm over possible fifth wave of COVID-19, records 1,332 cases in 1 week. And lastly, on the foreign scene, 2 Palestinians killed in Israeli raid on occupied West Bank. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. And now the news in full. A few weeks after the convoy of President Muhammadu Buhari was attacked in Katsina State, terrorists have threatened to abduct Nigeria's #1 citizen. Daily Trust reports that the terrorists in the new video threatened to abduct and kill President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, if their demands are not met. The terrorists also boasted that they would destroy the country, kill the remaining passengers in their custody, and sell out the others. Recall that the convoy of an advanced team of President Muhammadu Buhari was attacked on its way to Buhari's hometown of Daura ahead of Salah celebration. The attack on the convoy happened on the day when the Islamic State in West African province, ISWAP, invaded Kuje prison in Abuja and freed over 800 inmates, including the terrorists in detention. And police in Niger State have arrested a 40-year-old kidnapper and informant, Bashiru Abdullahi of Bangi, Mariga local government area of Niger State. The suspect, a businessman, was said to have been arrested in Kwatongwara local government area while plotting with members of his kidnap team to abduct the former chairman of Mariga local government area and father of a former commissioner in the state. The report.
Parading the suspects at the police command headquarters in Mina, Niger State, the police spokesperson Wasiu Abiodun said during interrogation, the suspect claimed that the former local government chairman owed him 5.8 million naira, adding that if he had succeeded in kidnapping him, he intended to demand a ransom of 10 million naira.
Alhaji Bashiru confessed that he planned to kidnap a former local government council chairman of Mariga and the father of a former commissioner in the state. He claimed that the former chairman owed him a sum amount of 5,800,000 naira. And if the chairman is kidnapped, he is trying to realize 10 million naira ransom from him.
The suspect, Bashiru Abdullahi, also confessed that he had invited members of the team from the Republic of Niger and Kayama in Kwara State and other places to help him execute his kidnap plans. Similarly, the police command also paraded 2 suspects, Muhammad Aliyu, 25, of Emitachigi village in Kacha local government, and Muhammad Ndako, 30, of Gurara area of Mina, for alleged criminal conspiracy, culpable homicide and robbery. Abiodun said the suspects were trailed to Paiko, where they were arrested in the process of selling a stolen motorcycle.
The suspect went away with the victim's motorcycle and later joined Muhammad Ndako, his accomplice, in his residence within the area. While both of them took the motorcycle to Paiko for sale, where they were apprehended in the process of selling the motorcycle, the 2 suspects confessed further to have conspired and stole another motorcycle at Bida within last year, that was 2021, and the motorcycle was sold at the rate of 40,000 naira.
The 25-year-old principal suspect, Muhammad Aliyu, father of 4 whose wife was heavily pregnant for the 5th baby, said he used the proceeds of the crime to solve his family needs. Abiodun said the suspects would be charged to court after the completion of investigation.
And meanwhile, bandits on Saturday attacked a village in Munya local government area of Niger State, abducting no fewer than 9 people. The bandits attacked the village in the early hours of the morning, according to the police public relations officer, Niger State Police Command, Wasiu Abiodun. He said the police are on the trail of the attackers after being alerted about the attack and have secured the release of 4 victims.
0520 hours. Armed bandit terrorists attacked Kuti village, via Zerikin Power in Munya local government where about 9 persons were abducted. Meanwhile, police tactical teams with vigilante members were drafted to this area, and as a result of the sustained pressure, 4 victims were rescued unhurt, while the teams are still on the trail of the hoodlums to rescue the remaining victims. However, the Commissioner of Police Niger State Command, CP Monday Balakuria's FSI, commended Niger Light for giving such useful intelligence for proactiveness in ensuring protection of life and property, while urging them to sustain this effort as security is a collective responsibility.
One person has been reportedly killed while another one sustained injury on Saturday afternoon when a canoe conveying 50 traders from the hinterland of Shiroro to Kwata Market in Zumba, Shiroro local government area of Niger State, capsized in the middle of Zumba River. The Director General, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Ibrahim Inga, who confirmed the incident, said the details of casualties is still unknown. The Sarikinwa Kwata Zumba, Umar Isa, in a phone interview with Daily Trust, said the engine of the canoe conveying the traders went off in the middle of the river and the canoe eventually sunk. Meanwhile, the search for remaining victims is ongoing as at Sunday morning. The Northwest Zone of the All Progressives Congress APC says for the party to avoid a repeat of what happened in Osun State in subsequent elections, measures must be put in place to reconcile aggrieved APC members across the zone and the nation at large. The Northwest Publicity Secretary of the party, Musa May Lafia, at a press briefing in Kaduna, said the party will do all within the power to reconcile members of the party in the North ahead of the 2023 general election. The report.
According to Melafia, failure to reconcile members of the party in Osun State caused the party governorship election in the state. He noted that such grievances unseated PDP in 2015.
We cannot deny the fact that some people are not happy with the way their states are run by perhaps the governors in some quarters. And the primary elections come with its own problem. And it is evident that when PDP was governing this country, these grievances are what destroyed the PDP. And this is what we are not allowing to happen in our own party. That's why we are working toward making sure that if there is any person aggrieved with any decision, we will sit with him.
Melafia said all members of the party in the zone must be consoled for the reconciliation exercise to be effective.
This is of course necessary because there will be those that will be offended in one way or the other. Their grievances might be legitimate or perhaps illegitimate, notwithstanding. As a political party, you must console them. You must reconcile with them. You must work with them. And most importantly, you must give them back their sense of belonging, which they might have lost in the process.
The APC Northwest Zone says the zone is still a stronghold of the party, adding that with unity among the party members, they will win the 2023 general elections.
And still on post-election matters, the controversy surrounding the religion of the Osun State Governor-elect, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has continued to dominate discourse in the state, especially as Nigerian Christians oppose the Muslim ticket of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima. Hamido Yegbade in his report brings us the opposing views of religious leaders in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, as it concerns same-faith tickets in a multi-religious state like Nigeria. His report is presented from our studio.
The just concluded governorship election in Osun State to many people is a litmus test of the 2023 general elections in Nigeria. With the outcome believed to be a reflection of the people's will, many are hopeful that next year's general elections will be credible. However, the fate of the winners of the election remains a contention, particularly among religious circles. Though in the forms Adeleke submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission, the governor-elect is known to be a Christian. He is, however, claiming to be a Muslim and has added Nuruddin to his names. Whereas his father, Senator Raji Adeleke, was a Muslim during his lifetime, the mother of the governor-elect was a Christian. Adeleke picked a Christian from Ile-Ife, Prince Kola Adewusi, as his running mate, and they won the election as majority of the people that voted during the election downplayed the religious sentiment. The president of Coalition of Muslim Organizations in Osun State, under the auspices of Osun Voice for Muslims, Rights and Justice, Malam Ishaq Mohammed Jamiu, said politicians including Adeleke and Tinubu take politics as their first religion and take their faith as secondary.
We are the one giving ourselves unnecessary headache. To an average politician, the issue of religion is very secondary. Adeleke would have thought that riding the horse of bringing a Christian as a running mate will be better for him than presenting himself as a Muslim and having somebody else as a Muslim. And for him to have claimed Islam, whether we like it or not, he has the right to do so because he has the origin of Islam. Whether we are doubting Islam or not, religiosity is a claim.
Bishop Sheun Adeoye, the director of Media Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria and general overseer, Sufficient Grace and Truth Ministries, Rehoboth Arena, Okini, Osun State, said since religion, according to him, is a thing of the mind, people should take Adeleke for what he claims, be it Muslim or Christian.
Well, to me, religion is a thing of the mind, and nobody will say in particular what kind of religion a person belongs. In particular, that the governor-elect Nuruddin Ademola Adeleke told us that it's Nuruddin, and that and after, even before the election, he has started going to mosque, started observing all the tenets of faith of Islam. So everybody believes that, well, he is a Muslim, and so if people are not coming and saying he's a Christian, well, so be it. But as far as I'm concerned, he has told us that it's Nuruddin, and let us take it like that it's Nuruddin.
Meanwhile, for those sincerely and genuinely interested in governance, the issue of the religion of politicians, many say, should not be taken serious, as focus should be on competence and capacity to ensure good governance and make the country better.
And away from election matters, the police in Zamfara State have arrested the state correspondent of Leadership newspaper, Umar Maradun, for an undisclosed reason. Umar Maradun was arrested in his hometown Maradun in the early hours of Saturday and brought to the State Criminal Investigation Department in Gusau, the state capital. The officials of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ Zamfara State Council, and some members of the correspondent chapel went to the State's Criminal Investigation Department, CID, for his bail, but were turned down by the police. The union leaders argue that the law stipulates that Maradun should not be detained for more than 24 hours, wondering why he should not be granted bail since it was not a criminal case. When contacted, the State Commissioner of Police, Ayuba Elkanah, promised to wade into the matter. You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at challenges facing women potters in Garin Shaka. There's and many other stories shortly, to stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Before we proceed to other stories, a recap of our top stories. We told you that terrorists threaten abduction of Commander-in-Chief, release fresh video of abducted train passengers. And the canoe mishap claims 1 life and several people still missing in Niger. And moving on to other news, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has again warned of a possible 5th wave of COVID-19 virus in the country given the resurgence in the number of confirmed cases. It disclosed that about 1,332 cases were recorded in 1 week. The NCDC is calling on states to ramp up testing and for Nigerians to embrace the safety protocols to curb the spread of the virus. Reports say as at July 22, 2022, Nigeria has recorded no fewer than 260,339 confirmed cases, while 253,566 cases have been successfully discharged. 3,147 lost their lives to complications arising from the virus. And this is coming as the World Health Organization, WHO, has declared the monkeypox outbreak in more than 70 countries an emergency of international concern. And Potters of Garin Shankar has called for support to improve the business of pottery and one of Nigerian Asian arts that has helped in promoting and putting the country on the world tourism map. The women who were operating in an open space lamented that the rainy season is not friendly and the clay pots are not friendly to them, and as well as the clay pots. Gaza Yakubu met with some of the potters and brought back this report. Take a look.
We want our environment to be fixed. This is the rainy season, and pollution can be expensive and doesn't last.
With the rains, Rukaya hurries to cover her pots to prevent them from damage. For 30 years, she has been in the business of pottery, yet she is currently under no structure to protect the earthenwares.
Then, we used to have a place where we keep our pots, but it was demolished. We're now under the sun. We're asking for assistance. We need shops.
Pottery has been an ancestral business for them, and the challenges of the modern market is giving them some concern. They are craving for intervention that will improve their skills.
We need the government to provide us with the service of one who can teach how to make pottery with machines.
With the development of the modern technology in pottery, the locals are still in business and believe they will not go extinct, as their life revolves around making pot of all shapes. Although making pot may not be dangerous, staying on the roadside while doing this could be. Gaza Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Kankia is one of the towns affected by perennial water shortage in recent years in Katsina State. The Yar'Adua and Shema administration in Katsina State have established semi-urban water schemes to provide adequate water to the people of Kankia town. However, the water schemes are now endangered by erosion, which has destroyed some boreholes and pipes that supply water from the boreholes to the main tank. Abdullahi Yamadi visited the facility and now reports.
Kankia town has a population of over 1.5 million people and depends largely on this water scheme for consumption and domestic purposes. People here, mostly low-income earners, buy a jerrycan of water between 40 to 50 naira, a situation they say is beyond their income. This is our only hope of livelihood, as water is life. Should this scheme be destroyed, now Kankia town will be in trouble. Let me passionately appeal to Katsina State government to please come to our aid. One thing people ought to know is that the borehole that was eroded is the main borehole supplying greater percentage of water to the people of Kankia town. It's the main source that was affected badly. The only source of water in Kankia town are these semi-urban water schemes being threatened by erosion. Beyond that, the erosion is also threatening farmlands. Already, the situation is affecting the supply of water to residents of Sabor Abuja, Kanti and Gachi communities, which are benefiting from the affected boreholes.
This is the time of rainy season. Normally, most of our boreholes and the connection of the water supply is erosion by the time of water supply now. So when they go on, at least they come and see the problem so that they can solve the problem properly and be able to get enough water supply in most of our areas.
Although the semi-urban water schemes were established by the state government, Kankia local government has committed resources to mitigate the disaster, but to no avail. Everybody in Katsina State knows our problem as a people. Our number 1, 2, 3 problem is water, and allowing these boreholes to be washed away by water or erosion means disaster to us. The local government has made all the necessary correspondences informing relevant authorities about our plight. These projects require urgent attention to save the entire water scheme from collapse. This portends danger especially to residents of Kankia town. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
With Nigeria's population expected to hit 260 million by November 2022, stakeholders in Gombe State have recommended child spacing to maintain a healthy population. Speaking in an interview with Newsman, the Director, Community and Family Health at the Gombe State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Mariam Abubakar, raised concerns over the burden of the world's population, especially in Nigeria. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Nigeria's population is about 206 million and is projected to reach 216 million at the end of this year, making it the third most populous nation in the world. However, the country is battling insecurity and inflation that plunge a greater percentage of the citizens to untold hardship. To commemorate International Population Day being celebrated July 11, the Challenge Initiative is sensitizing women in Gombe on child spacing for a healthy population.
By mid-November this year, the population of the world is going to be around 8 billion. So that is much compared to some years back around 1950s, 80s. Now in Gombe, we are about the population of 3.2. And of course, you know the situation of things now in the country. The economy is not very friendly. So when you say child spacing, I will look at it this way. If a person or an individual or couple have 10 kids, we know what it means now. To send them to school, to feed them, accommodation-wise, because if you have 10 kids, with you and your wife, you are 12. So you not go and stay in 2-bedroom apartment or, 1-room apartment. That's not going to be convenient. So health-wise, and if one of them, let's say, for instance, has tuberculosis, you can imagine she can easily pass it around. So what are we advocating? Child spacing, the woman herself needs to be healthy. It is only with health you'll be able to do a lot of things in life.
Some religious leaders bothered about a possible population explosion are volunteering to enlighten their subjects on family planning.
I have taken it upon myself to also create awareness to fellow pastors like me, to speak to them, to also speak to their own followers, and to speak to also the community where they find themselves, so that gradually the importance of child spacing can circulate the whole nation at large.
Situation we are now it indicates that if you do not practice this child bed space, children will not get a good education.
Medical experts say, in addition to economic benefits, family planning reduces maternal mortality by 40%. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And the umbrella body for domestic airlines in the country, Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, has notified passengers of air transport services that the sector has been hit by a major crisis of acute scarcity of Jet A1. AON spokesperson Obiora Okonkwo, in a statement titled Public Notification in Acute Shortage of Aviation Fuel and Flight Disruption, disclosed that the disruptions are foreseen but unintended consequence of the aviation fuel scarcity in the country. This is the second announcement on the disruption of services over the scarcity of aviation fuel in 3 months. Similarly, the management of Ibom Air has alerted its passengers of impending flight cancellation due to the continuous unavailability of aviation fuel in the country. Ibom Air stated that the fuel scarcity had greatly impeded on its operations, adding that it might now result in some flights being cancelled. The airline made the disclosure on Friday in a statement signed by its General Manager, Marketing and Communication, Ania Khan Essien. And on the foreign scene, 2 Palestinians have been killed overnight during an Israeli army raid in the occupied West Bank city of Nablus. Reports say Israeli forces stormed Al Yasmina neighborhood in the old city of Nablus after midnight and condoned of a house before embarking on bombing the house with explosive and gunfire, killing 2 Palestinians. According to the Palestinian Red Crescent, at least 12 others were wounded, including 1 in serious condition. Meanwhile, the Israeli army said it was carrying out an operation in Nablus without immediately commenting on the Palestinian report of casualties. In a statement, it said there were exchange of fire between armed suspects and troops that ended with neutralizing the terrorists inside the house and on its roof. And that brings us to the end of the news updates at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.